How do you deal with declining sales and keep the company going?
How do you deal with declining sales and keep the company going? Well, first, you need to check in with your existing customers. Are they happy? What are they unhappy with? What more could you do with them? So I mentioned this in another video, but maybe you install pools, and so if winter's coming, and so suddenly there's no more pools to install, you need to look for other things that you can help people with. So perhaps after you finish building the pool, maybe they need a fence. Maybe they need you to come and do maintenance a couple times a week. Maybe they want a patio built, right? Maybe they need to improve the landscaping. Maybe they need swimming lessons. So you need to look at the whole spectrum of events, because after every problem, there's typically another problem that will occur. It may not be a big problem, right? But it's like, if you don't have a car, you can't get anywhere easily, right, on your own. But once you have a car, you can go anywhere you want, when you want, right? But now you have a new problem. I gotta get gas, I gotta maintain the car, right? What about driving and insurance? Often when you solve one problem, more exists. One of the first things you should do is make sure your existing customers are happy, content, and ask them, what else can I do for you? And even try to think of things that you can do for them. So that way, one, you keep the money you're already making, and two, you try and find a way to make a little bit more. Now that's important, because if you can figure out a way to make a little bit more from your existing customer base, that allows you to spend more money on the front end. What I mean is there's a term called lifetime customer value. And this means is what is basically your profit per customer. What is because if you went on a date with someone, say you had a girlfriend or a boyfriend and you had a wonderful 4 months together, and then you haven't heard from them for a year. Is that still your boyfriend or girlfriend? Probably not. Customers are the same way. There's a finite cycle of time where someone's still your customer. Maybe if it's coffee, you're buying coffee every day, every week, but if 2-3 months go by, that person's no longer your customer. So the lifetime may have ended. So you need to figure out, how much profit do I make per customer? And so let's say you make $100 profit. This is typically, you can do gross and then net, but this is how much money you make gross and then after expenses. And so let's say I make $100 after all expenses. Well, now I know that I could probably spend $99 before I lose any money on marketing and sales per customer. Right? I had a martial arts school, and I knew on average that each member bought $930 something worth of martial arts instructions. But on average, because some people, they left the contracts early or they failed payments, I actually collected $818 per customer, per member. So I knew that that was my budget. One of the things that I did in my local area is I started promising about $150 worth of free gear when someone signed up on a new 6 or 12-month contract. And a lot of my competitors thought I was crazy because I was just giving money away. But I knew my numbers. I knew that on average I was going to make $818, and I was buying it wholesale. So I was basically taking the first month payment for me, and I was keeping maybe 60% of it instead of 100%, but I was giving the rest as a bonus, and it was a bonus that none of my competitors would give them for joining with me versus someone else. So that's another thing you can do. If you know your numbers, if you know your lifetime customer value, if you're doing things to try to improve lifetime customer value, that can give you a competitive advantage, because now you can make a welcome package or special gifts. This is what printers do, and even like Xbox. A lot of video games, they sell the printer, they sell the Xbox at break even or even a loss, because they know they're going to make the money from you when you buy ink, when you buy paper, when you buy the extra games. So that's one of the things you need to do. You need to talk to your customers, you need to figure out your lifetime customer value, you need to get more, go deeper with your existing customers, you need to make sure you're doing a great job for these people, and then you need to go out and you need to network and advertise intensely. Hey, listen to me here. You have to advertise and network intensely, because you have to find new people to meet. Your business is like a black box that solves a problem. So maybe people are bored and you've got an arcade. Maybe you have a restaurant, so if people are hungry or too busy to cook, that is the problem you solve, right? People are hungry and unhappy and grumpy, and they come in this side, they eat delicious food, and then they leave happy and smiling on the other side. So that's the problem you solve, right? And now you need to go and find all the people you can with that problem you can solve. And so that requires you to be extrovert, right? You can be an introvert, but you have to demonstrate extrovert behaviors, right? And you have to go out and meet people. And meeting people requires intense networking and advertising to get out there and meet new people. I would also highly recommend you do two-step lead generation, which means offering something free in order to find out who is interested in this topic or service, and then making an offer. You see this all the time at grocery stores when they do the free samples. So, I'm a fitness guy. Maybe I want to sell a whey protein. So I have a free sample of whey proteins. Right? So actually, this is from my book, Ancient Secrets of Lead Generation, Your Guide to Better Leads, Less Effort. I call it the food court test. So let's say there was a busy food court at a mall, and you want to sell ice cream. So imagine one person stands up on a table and they just yell out, "Baskin and Robbins!" What would happen? Everyone would be like, what's up with that guy? And just keep going. But if instead you got up on the table and you yelled out, "Free ice cream," what would be different? People would go, "Free ice cream? I like ice cream." And they would come over. And then you'd say, "Hey, welcome. Yes, we have 5 flavors. Which would you like to try?" Perfect. Here's your free sample. By the way, you can buy a gallon tub for $5 or get 2 for $8. Which flavors do you want? Right? And that's just the difference in perspective. So two-step is really good because what you're doing is you're getting hand raisers by offering something for free. It's like fishing. You're offering something for free because there's so many people out there. You don't want to waste your time on people that aren't interested and don't want what you have. But if you can find a way to take what you have and break off a free piece and put it out there, it can bring in the people that want the freebie, and then you can talk to them and offer the paid version. So two-step marketing is really good, especially because it allows you to stay in contact with them if you can collect their contact info. So the free sample is like an offline version. Online, often you see people like, get this free report, get this free ebook, get this thing, and they want your email. And that's because they want to build a relationship with you. A lot of these people understand that people don't buy when you want them to buy. They buy when they're ready to buy, not when you are ready to sell. So if you know that they're interested in the topic, right? If you know that they're interested in the topic, they downloaded the free ebook, they signed up for the free mini course. Great. This is now a group of people I know that may or are more likely to spend money on this thing, this category. And if I just stay in touch with them, if I'm friendly, entertaining, all that stuff, when they are ready to buy, I will probably be right there for them. Realtors used to do this. They used to pick a neighborhood, a subdivision, and they called it farming a neighborhood. They would go through, they would knock on doors, do meet and greets, do barbecues and things like that. They would even try to sponsor people's events if they could, just so their name would be around, because the idea was, and someone wanted to buy a house or sell a house, they wanted to think of them before anybody else. So it's called recency bias. And recency bias is like, if you're thinking about getting your teeth cleaned, you're more likely to think about the most recent dentist office you've been to or passed by, not the one that you saw 5 years ago, right? So recency. So that's also part of why two-step is a really good plan.